Happy day, Earth signs. Welcome to your weekly reading for the week of June 4th through June 10th. I am Macy LaShawn Sledge, and I am grateful to you for being here with me for this reading. I hope that wherever you are watching this, whatever time it is for you, I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you have been finding rest, Earth signs. I hope that you have been tending to and meeting your needs in the way that they are needing to be met at this time, Earth signs. Respite. That's the word that's coming through. Respite. That word is coming through. I hope you have been able to receive that from yourself. I hope you've been able to orchestrate that on your behalf. So yeah, okay, because let's get into it. All right. The oracle card that I pulled for y'all is mental conflict. Okay. So when we're talking about respite, that's why that's coming through. Okay. With the mental conflict card coming through, Spirit is asking you, Earth signs, to move through the chatter, to move through the confusion, the back and forth. It really feels, Earth signs, that it feels like you're back and forth between something right now. Okay. You're really what it feels like you're very much back and forth between this grounded, centered, earthy, I'm at home energy and this chaotic, something's always got to have my attention energy. Okay. And if we want to go a little bit further with that, we will want to say this: you're back and forth between this grounded, centered, I feel at home within my body energy, and this, I don't feel at home in my body. What is all of this? Where do I fit in all of this kind of energy? Okay, so you're experiencing some mental conflict, and Spirit is wanting to clean that up for you. Okay, Spirit is really wanting to clean that up for you, and respite, okay, is the theme for you this week, Earth signs. Okay, so Spirit is asking you to move through the mental, and it's really asking yourself simple questions like, what needs my attention? Does that need my attention? Right? So whenever you give your energy and attention to a thing, Spirit is saying, listen, for you, Earth signs, in order for you to really move through this mental conflict, you need to start asking yourself some simple questions. Okay, like, does this really need my attention? Do I have the answers to that problem? Am I supposed to get myself involved in that? Okay, because you have a tendency, Earth signs, to want to put your hands in things, to want to give all your energy to things, and then this is where the mental unrest and the mental conflict comes in. Okay, even whenever it comes to your process of healing and letting go, do I need to give this my attention? Okay, I'm also hearing really paying close attention to what you have been giving your attention to in regards to your process of healing. Okay, because it feels like too some of the mental conflict is due to things that are just being drawn out, right? I believe last week in your weekly reading, I spoke a little bit about allowing, like, just leaving the past in the past. And so that's kind of coming in right now, is you're allowing the emotion of things to just be so drawn out. Okay, and because of that, it's making it's making it feel like for you that this is that things that are not occurring in the now are occurring in the now, right? And so it may not even be things that are actually happening and occurring. It's just that your emotional attachment to what has happened in the past is is kind of blinding you. And so you aren't sure of how to choose new responses or new reactions in the present moment because you're emotionally attached to the past. Well, this is how it happened in the past. This is how it made me feel in the past. Okay, but let's come to the present moment. Let's come to the present moment and let's honor that you're a new person. You're not the same person that you were in the past. You're a new person, and you have the ability to choose new responses. You have the ability to speak up on behalf of yourself. You have the ability to shift how experiences affect you. Okay, so a lot of the mental conflict is coming from your holding on and gripping. Okay, and thinking and believing that you gotta go way back there to undo how it's affecting you in the now. And really, the solution is for you to be present in this now moment, right? To really hold space for you in this now moment, for who you are today. Because our bodies keep the score, right? So our bodies have been holding the space for the younger versions of us, for the past versions of us. And now, in order for you to let go, you need to be holding space for you today. It's not the past versions of ourselves, right, that are being neglected anymore. It's us not truly being present for the present version of who we are today, because we're so stuck in the past, and then the mental conflict and confusion is present, right? So Spirit is asking you to move through this mental conflict and to move through this mental confusion by holding space for who you are today. Who are you? And are you holding space for who you are? Are you holding space? If not, Spirit is asking you to move into that this week. Spirit is inviting you to give it a try. Give holding space for the for who you are today. Hold space for who you are today, and be a witness to how that is more transformative than going back into the past and undoing what's already been done. Okay, so working through this mental conflict, working through this mental confusion, and doing it by resting. Okay, respite for the mind is what I'm hearing. Respite for your mind, earth signs. Okay, Six of Cups. Six of Cups. So with the Six of Cups, what we typically have here is us holding space for one another, community, family, friendship, relationships of any kind. And the Six of Cups is speaking to us sharing in community with one another, sharing space with one another. Okay, and the Six of Cups is really speaking for you, earth signs, is really speaking to what I was saying a second ago about you holding space for who you are today. Okay, and so the Six of Cups is speaking to that, and is also, the message there is also, in order for you to experience balance and harmony, you need to bring yourself back here, back to the present moment, okay? Because this connectedness is unfolding for you, this harmony, this balance, it's unfolding for you. but you have to create the space for it to come through. You have to be the space for it to come. You are the balance. You are the one orchestrating the inner harmony, okay? And then you begin to see that being reflected outwardly. But you're kind of, the inner harmony is it's like it's wavering. Like 1 second you feel it, and then you go back to the past and it's all undone. Okay, and it's not even necessarily because of the past. It's because of how how you're responding and reacting to the past, and how you, and your emotional and mental experience of the past. Okay, so the Six of Cups is I'm also seeing the word reconciliation. Okay, and so, and it may not even be about a physical, you have actually reconciled a relation to, reconciled back into a relationship with someone, but it's more so about the idea that you have about this inner reconciliation with yourself. Okay, and really you reconciling back to your power, back to your strength. Okay, reconnecting with your inner strengths is what I'm hearing. And you can't do that if you're so busy living in the past, dwelling in the past. The Magician. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Because what was I just saying? Reconciling back to your strength. Reconciling back to your strengths. Okay, and then we have the Magician coming through. And the magician and then the Magician just letting you know, listen, your tools want to be used, your magic wants to be used. How can that happen if you have not, if your attention, your energy, and your focus hasn't been reconciled back to the present moment? Okay, Spirit calling you to unleash these tools, to use them to create a life for yourself that reflects your heart, the will of your soul, to create change in the world by expressing yourself, by giving of yourself, by sharing your gifts, your tools with the world, with yourself, and with the world around you. And the Magician reminding you that this is what's being asked of you right now, is to express, right? But you can't do that with the mental conflict. So there's a decision that has to be made, Earth signs. There's a decision that has to be made. Is being reconciled back to other people, things outside of yourself, more important than you being reconciled back to you? Because that's what's coming through. I'm hearing you're putting in a lot of work, you're putting in a lot of effort, Earth signs, to be reconciled back to, or to experience reconciliation between yourself and other people, or yourself and, whatever it may be, whoever it may be. You're putting forth a lot of effort to create that reconciliation, but then you're neglecting yourself in the process. Okay, and so that's why the Magician is coming through. The Magician is coming through to say, when you focus on reconciling yourself back to you, you will no longer experience the feeling of neglect, right? Other people may have neglected you, they may treat you poorly. But if your energy is being focused on, if you're focusing your energy on creating reconciliation in those spaces, then how can you focus on reconciling? Okay, and so that's what the Magician is really speaking to, is you have tools and you have magic that wants to be expressed through you. Consciousness really wants to express itself through you in new ways, but you're not really available to that right now. as you come back to yourself, as you come back home to yourself, that will take care of the external world and relationships, right? And one of two things can happen. Either those things will continue to fall away, or naturally there will be reconciliation. And maybe one of three, and then there's a third thing, and then maybe those things that are falling away will be replaced with relationships, experiences, whatever it is, that are actually in alignment with you, now that you're experiencing this balance and harmony within yourself. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. I love this energy for y'all. I love this for y'all. New beginnings, okay? So when we speak of being reconciled back to ourselves, we of course will experience new beginnings, right? We'll experience new beginnings. And for you, earth signs, what I'm feeling is that the new beginnings will come through. The new beginnings for you have everything to do with your confidence, your level of self-esteem. Like, what is your self-esteem like? Okay, because as you begin to reconcile yourself back to your attention, your focus, your energy back to it being on you, your confidence will grow, will deepen. You won't struggle with low self-esteem. Okay. And you're also going to be finding yourself really exerting your willpower in new ways. You're also going to feel a little bit more determined. And also, I'm seeing self-centered, and not self-centered, in the terms of, oh, that's such a negative thing, but self-centered meaning you are at the center of everything that you do, say, experience. You're at the center of it, rather than, like I was saying, you putting so much effort on making everybody else and everything else around you the center. You are the center. So then that means that you will start asking those questions. Am I supposed to give myself to this? Am I supposed to have a hand in, those questions that I was mentioning at the beginning? Naturally, when you are at the center, you'll ask yourself those questions, and you'll feel in your body, no, I shouldn't give myself to that. And maybe on later down the road, you will be able to, but you just have to really discern right now what needs your attention. And more than anything, it's you, so that you can work through this mental conflict and confusion. Okay, so Spirit is really asking you, earth signs, to surrender the need to try to control. Surrender the need to try to fix. Okay, surrender the need to try to fix. If it's not happening naturally, that means, and you're still trying to, that means you're spending too much energy. Okay, that means you're giving yourself, you're giving yourself away, you're giving your power away. That means you're creating the mental conflict and confusion for yourself, because you're trying to fix rather than allowing the energy to move in a way where the fixing is happening naturally. Okay, so Capricorn, your clarifying card is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, Capricorn. The Queen of Cups. I can see this being a very emotional week for you, Capricorn. I can see this being a very emotional week for you, and mostly because you're finally beginning to practice acceptance. Okay, you're finally beginning to practice acceptance, and you're finally beginning to accept. It feels like it's something that you've had a hard time accepting for a while, but you're finally beginning to practice acceptance. you're not giving up, you're just accepting. You know, you're accepting that, well, maybe I should move mentally and emotionally, right? Because we're talking about mental and emotional, or mental conflict. So you're finally accepting that maybe mentally and emotionally it's time for me to move on, okay? Because you can see the toll that this has taken on you, okay? And you can also see how it's kind of kept you in a space where it's kind of kept you, look, and I can't even find my words. It's like it feels like you've been in such a state of confusion around whatever this is for you, Capricorn. And so Spirit is saying this may be a very emotional week for you because you are practicing more acceptance, okay? And so the Queen of Cups coming through just to remind you to surrender to the waves, okay? Capricorn, to surrender to the waves and hold yourself. Just hold yourself. That's what I'm hearing. I'm just hearing, just hold yourself this week, Capricorn. Just hold yourself this week, because it's okay. It's okay that you're not getting exactly what you wanted to get. It's okay. Just practice acceptance, and then maybe answers will come later, okay? When you're truly ready to receive them mentally and emotionally. Taurus, 7 of Cups, Taurus. 7 of Cups is your clarifying card, Taurus. 7 of Cups. This is for you. This doesn't happen at all for me, but this was like a yes, no. So yeah, this was like a yes, no pull for you, Taurus. So if you've been questioning something, if you've been questioning something, if you've been needing to make a decision, Taurus, and you're not really sure what decision you should make, you've been, is it yes or no? Yes. As soon as I pulled the card, I saw the answer is yes, okay? It may not be the decision that you think you need to make. Yes may not be the answer that you're like, how is that the answer? Yes. Like, why is that what I need to do? And Spirit is saying, you know what? Sometimes the clarity comes later. Sometimes the clarity comes later, Taurus. Sometimes you have to follow what you're being asked to do. Sometimes you have to make the decision, even though at times it really doesn't make sense. Spirit is just reminding you that the clarity comes later, okay? The longer that you put off making the decision, the longer that you put off obeying what your heart, what your intuitive self is asking you to do, the more confusion you're going to create for yourself, the deeper you're going to go into the mental conflict, okay, Taurus? So the answer is yes. That's never happened. I've never, turned a card over and saw and felt that it was for a yes no question, but you need it to be straight like that, Taurus. You need it to be straight like that. You need it to be straight, okay? And so Spirit is saying that the answer is yes, okay? Even if you feel like, but why would I make that decision? Spirit is saying the clarity will come later, all right? Virgo, your clarifying card is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. I just love this reading for y'all, and I love these clarifying cards because they're so perfect and they just feel so right. Virgo, the clarifying card for you is Wheel of Fortune. It feels like I'm seeing somebody juggling some balls or like tossing up some balls, right? And so the thought that came through with that was like, it feels like you're just tossing things up. Okay, right now it feels like you're tossing things up, like you're juggling a lot of different, I don't know if it's, maybe you're juggling some options right now, Virgo. It feels like you're juggling back and forth between a few different options, and this is why you have to reconcile your focus and energy and attention back to yourself. Okay, Virgo. So if you've been in a space of kind of like undoing, looking at the past and kind of deciphering, what was going on in the past and how it's been having an effect on you, Spirit wants to be very blunt with you and is saying, you know exactly how the past has had an effect on you. You see it, you've been living it, right? You've been feeling it in your body. There's no need for you to go back because you're already aware. You have the awareness. Healing is in the awareness, right? Because you have the awareness, now is the time for you to heal, to surrender, to let go. It's not time for you to dig deeper. It's time for you to let go, to surrender, to reconcile your energy and attention back to yourself, to forgive, right? To forgive, to say, forgive them because they didn't know what they were doing. Forgive them because they didn't know what they were doing. Just like at this time, at this point in time, Wheel of Fortune, you don't know what you're doing either. Right? And so forgive them because they didn't know what they were doing. And so that's the message for you is, a lot is being tossed up for you right now, Virgo, because you're not focusing on your needs, on what this version of who you are right now, right here today, truly needs. Okay? And so Spirit is saying, in order for you to move through the mental conflict, Virgo, focus on what you need today, not on what you needed then. What do you need today? And then share that with yourself. And then the choices that you have available to you, they'll become the direction that you should go will it'll become clearer for you. You'll begin to gain some clarity. Okay. Because I'm feeling like you have some pretty good options available to you, options that you may not even have considered in the past, Virgo, because it's possible that you wouldn't have had the support. But now Spirit is saying, listen, we don't, that support that you're afraid of that won't be there, it very well may not be there. But if you can trust and have faith that this new support will be there, okay? The world is in your hand and you do have a lot of beautiful options and choices available to you. You just have to stop focusing on trying to reconcile yourself back to the past and reconcile yourself to this present moment, okay? And what it's asking of you and where it's calling you to. So I love you all very much, Earth signs. Thank you again for supporting, for being present, for listening, for receiving. If you have any thoughts, make sure you leave them in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then I want to invite you to do that. If you would like a more personal reading, if you would like to join any group sessions, if you would like a one-on-one working with me in any other capacity, then you can go to the description underneath this video and click the link. And I'll see y'all next time.